Hello students, let us talk about cryptococcal meningitis in immunocompromised patients. Myself Dr. Taruna and I am Associate Professor in Microbiology Department of SP Medical College, Bikaner. Meningitis is an inflammation of the meninges surrounding the brain and spinal cord, and it implies to infection of subarachnoid space or leptomeninges, which includes arachnoid and pia mater. The causative agents of meningitis may be bacteria, virus, fungi, and parasite. Among bacteria, pneumococci, group B streptococci, meningococci, and Staphylococcus aureus are mainly responsible for causing meningitis. Among viruses, paramyxovirus, herpes virus, adenovirus, and arbovirus can cause meningitis. If we talk about the fungus, then Cryptococcus neoformans, Candida albicans, Histoplasma, and Aspergillus are responsible for causing fungal meningitis. Among parasites, Entamoeba histolytica and Toxoplasma gondii can cause meningitis. Cryptococcal meningitis is caused by Cryptococcus neoformans and Cryptococcus getae. It can affect any tissue or organ, but majority of the cases come to the clinical attention due to CNS involvement or lung involvement by Cryptococcus. Individuals at high risk of disease are those patients who have malignancy, who have undergone malignancy or have malignancy, and those who are recipient of organ transplant, glucocorticoid therapy, or the patient who are HIV positive and whose CD4 lymphocyte count is below 200 per microliter. So basically, immunocompromised patient, they are more prone towards cryptococcal meningitis. Cryptococcal infection is acquired from environment through aerosol, and Cryptococcus neoformans is found in the soil which is contaminated by birds' excreta. Cryptococcus getae inhibits arboreal species including several types of eucalyptus trees, and Cryptococcus neoformans variety group I is more common than variety neoformans, and Cryptococcus getae disease is often found in immunocompetent individuals. Regarding pathogenesis of cryptococcal infection is acquired via inhalation of aerosolized infectious particle which are containing desiccated yeast cell and basidiospore of the fungus. So mainly the fungus is acquired through inhalation of aerosolized infectious particle. The virulence factors are polysaccharide capsule, ability to make the melanin, and elaboration of enzyme like phospholipase and urease. The polysaccharide capsule which is found in Cryptococcus is antiphagocytic in nature, and this has numerous deleterious effects on host immune function. And release of copious amount of capsular polysaccharide into tissue interferes with local immune response. Regarding clinical manifestation, the CNS involvement with the fungus presents in form of chronic meningitis, and the patient may come to us with complaint of headache, fever, lethargy, sensorium deficit, and meningismus. Cryptococcal meningitis can also lead to sudden vision loss. Regarding lab diagnosis, the samples sent to the microbiology lab are CSF, blood, serum, urine, and biopsy material. So first we go for gross examination of these samples, and after that we proceed for microscopic examination. And microscopic examination of fungus in wet film is done with India ink stain, which reveals capsulated budding yeast cell and capsule is prominent. Fungus culture is done on sabrodextrose agar at 37 degrees centigrade and 25 degrees centigrade both. The tubes are kept at both temperature, and smooth mucoid cream colored colonies, they are there over the medium surface. And birdseed agar is also used for culture of Cryptococcus species. This is how the fungus look like after India ink staining, we can see the prominent capsule around the fungus. And this is budding yeast cell. And the size of the fungus may vary from 5 to 20 micrometer. And this background is black due to India ink. India ink or nigrosine both can be used for wet film preparation or staining of the fungus. And since the fungus have capsules, so only the background will take up the stain and fungus will not be stained. Capsule will not take up the stain. Cryptococcus neoformans variety neoformans hydrolyzes urea, and this differentiates it from other non-pathogenic cryptococci. So if we have grown fungus over the saprodaxtrose agar, we will proceed for biochemical reaction in form of urease test. So if urease test is positive, then the variety neoformans is confirmed. Antigen detection test of this fungus and capsular antigen can be detected by precipitation test or latex agglutination test. So sometime we detect fungus antigen in CSF via antigen detection test in form of latex agglutination test. And pathogenicity of a cryptococcal isolate can be demonstrated by intracerebral or intraperitoneal inoculation into mice, and result will be death of the mice as the infection is fatal one. Treatment. The treatment of cryptococcal infection is in form of amphotericin B with or without flucytosine. And oral fluconazole therapy can be given to the patient till the CD4 count rises more than 200 per microliter. Until then we have to give fluconazole therapy. And simultaneously we have to raise the CD4 count of the patient so that immunocompromisation state is recovered. Now, prognosis and complications. Even with antifungal therapy, there are high rate of morbidity and death if cryptococcal meningitis is there. Poor prognostic markers are positive CSF assay for yeast cell, and if the CSF is positive by India ink, if CSF pressure is high, low CSF glucose level indicates growing fungus in the CSF, and absence of antibodies to cryptococcus. All these are poor prognostic markers. And complications are in form of cranial nerve deficit, vision loss, and cognitive impairment. As far as prevention is concerned, no vaccine is available for cryptococcal infection. Primary prophylaxis with fluconazole can be done, and this will reduce the prevalence of disease as far as HIV patients are concerned. And antiretroviral therapy, of course, in HIV patient will raise the CD4 T cell count, and thus immunity is created in the patient. Thank you very much for your patience listening.